Regular viewers to this channel probably understand most of the laws around sex, here in the UK at least. But there are a few laws around the world which you kind of take a double look at and you think, how are these laws, how are these things come about? Why have they been made? Some of them are like, okay, it's ridiculous, but I can see what's happening there. But some of them are like, why would anybody make a law about that? Why? Well, I've got a list of them and we're going to go through them and we're going to discuss what the hell's going on. If you're new around here, my name is Andy. I do sex education videos on this channel almost every single week, which is a great reason to stick around. You'll learn stuff, including today, including these very, very weird and strange sex laws. Now, as I was Googling some of these, it was really quite obvious that most of the really strange laws come from the United States. For those of you that don't know, the United States have obviously states, but they can make their own laws. Each state can make laws to fit their part of the United States, or not fit, or just make no sense at all, as we're going to find out. So yeah, the vast majority of these are from the United States. In fact, if you want to look at weird laws altogether, go to the United States. It's not that they've got weirder laws in some places in the rest of the world. They're just kind of like, why would anybody ever make a law like that? Why? What happened for somebody to say, oh, we're going to have that law now. We're going to have that law. I used to run elections for student unions. They had some weird rules, but it's because somebody did something and then the week later, the week after the election, so they said, we're going to ban that thing happening. So it was very specific rules for specific things, which nobody was ever going to do again. And if they did, fine. Just people thought, oh, we've got to ban that, we've got to ban that. And I would think that's what's happened in some of these. I really do. So let's start off in Alaska, which is in the United States, the most northerly state of the United States. So in Alaska, moose are banned from having sex on city streets. I don't know what you would do if moose decided to start having sex. I don't know, what do you do? Arrest them? Are there specific moose detention centres? I don't know. But it's against the law. So moose, if you're watching, don't do that. Not in Alaska anyway. Moving on to Texas. It's illegal in Texas to own more than 6 dildos. But even that is liberal in comparison to Arizona, where you can only have 2 dildos. What happens if you happen to have more than 2 dildos in your house? The police come round, they raid you, they throw you in jail. Oh, drat, that's 3 dildos I've got in here now. Oh no, I hope the police don't come round. Open up, police. We've had reports of too many dildos. Oh no, oh no. No dildos to see, nothing to see here, officer. Oh, okay, but maybe that does happen. So in California, it's illegal to sell stuffed items resembling breasts when you are 1,000 yards from the public highway. If you're further away than 1,000 yards from a public highway, you're allowed to do that. But if you're within, I suppose, this is my guess, it's to avoid distracting drivers. It must have been that somebody had a stall that was selling stuffed things that resembled breasts, like Boobie pillows, that kind of thing. And a driver got distracted and crashed, and therefore they made a law. That's the only thing that makes any sense. But in Iowa, kisses aren't allowed to last for more than 5 minutes. Well, firstly, chance would be a fine thing, but mind you, right now they can't last for 5 seconds. So 5 minutes, well, I still want to know why. Why? And who's timing this? The police? Your pastor in the church? Who? Maybe that was made by a lawmaker who had a really bad date the night before, which ended with a 10.5-minute kiss. And they were like, this is ridiculous. We've got to limit them to 5 minutes. So in Michigan, a man who seduces or corrupts an unmarried woman faces prison. 5 years in prison. I don't know what constitutes corrupting a woman, but they're unmarried, so there's no problem with adultery. It must mean something else. but the wording is about seducing and corrupting unmarried women. What does that even mean? And specifically men who do it as well. So women are allowed to corrupt unmarried women, not a problem. So in Nebraska, it is against the law to get married if you have gonorrhea. Now, Nebraska is not well known for its sexual health, shall we say. So this must be about avoiding the spread of STIs and back to only married couples having sex, that kind of thing. That's the only thing which I can get here. So it's one of those kind of laws which, well, it is crazy. I mean, it's crazy in every single way. But okay, I get that there are certain situations, you know, it's to avoid the spread of STIs. So I guess at the time it might have made loads of sense. Well, I think they've still got it on the books. I suspect that nobody has ever been prosecuted for it. And you can, you know, you can get antibiotics for gonorrhea nowadays. So in Nevada, the sale of sex toys is illegal. So if you're in Arizona and you were, it's right next to Nevada, by the way. So if you're in Arizona near the border with Nevada and you were only allowed your 2 sex toys, say you had 3 sex toys and you wanted to obviously keep the law, and therefore you sold one of your sex toys, but because you were so close to the border, you accidentally sold it in Nevada. Do you get done twice for possession and then sale of sex toys? Now, as I said before, lots of places and quite a few states in the United States, adultery is illegal. However, in North Carolina, not only is adultery illegal, but so is pretending to be married to share a hotel room. But that must mean there must be a law against 2 people sharing a hotel room if they're not married. Because otherwise you could just share a hotel room, couldn't you? I don't understand. But why wouldn't you have to share a hotel room? I shared a hotel room with my mum before. She, you know, that you have twin beds. Yeah. It's just weird, isn't it? But not as weird as this one, where in Oregon, you are not allowed to lie down in a public restroom. Hey, police, hands up. I'm assuming here that means that if you lie down on the floor in a public restroom and somebody else tries to have sex with you, that's the idea. But they couldn't make something like the sex actually illegal. They had to make the lying down in a public restroom illegal or something like that. So this is really weird. In South Carolina, if a man promises a woman that they will marry and then they sleep together, the marriage must take place. It's not quite forced marriage, but it's definitely really weird. From what I can find out, there's not even any obvious willingness on the part of the woman here, other than the sex, I hope. But all the man has to do is promise to the woman that they're going to get married, and if they didn't have sex, is there a time limit on this? You know, if you have sex the day after, is that all right? Or in 2 months' time? I don't know. But that marriage must take place. Doesn't make any sense. Again, this must have been a situation back in whenever, where there was a man who promised to marry a woman, they had sex, and then the marriage didn't happen. And I don't know, she sued him for that. I don't know, nobody knows. It doesn't make any sense. So in Washington, if you give a sex worker a right to work, your car can be confiscated. What if they're just hitchhiking? Is it possible that you could pick up a hitchhiker in Washington, they're a sex worker, you unwittingly take them to where they're working, and the police come up and say, you've just given a sex worker a right to work, we're going to confiscate your car. Who knows? Okay, let's move away from the United States. It's a weird place. But there are some weird laws in other parts of the world. In Europe, for example. So in Hungary, it's illegal to have sex with the lights on. From what I could find out, this wasn't countrywide. It was one place in Hungary. But it's just... hey, police, hands up. It must have been a lawmaker who didn't want to have sex with the lights on, and their partner insisted, so they made a law so it was illegal. Must have been that. So in a place in Estonia, playing chess while having sex is illegal, presumably because it's far too easy to knock the board over and you have no idea where you were. Or maybe it's because the pawns look far too much like nipples. Who knows? But it's not just those crazy Europeans. Over here in the UK, we still have a couple of laws still enacted that are weird. So here in this great city of London, if you have sex on a motorcycle, that is illegal, although it has to be parked. Yeah, so presumably if you are riding on the back of the motorcycle, you get a gold medal instead. And in Birmingham, there is a local law which says that you can't have sex on the steps of a church after the sun's gone down. So if you do it in full view, in the middle of the day, that's fine, apparently, but after the sun goes down, nope, not allowed. However, it is only a £25 fine. Maybe that's worth it. If you've seen any other really weird, strange sex laws, then do leave a comment below. I will love to read those. I'm sure everybody else will as well. Oh, and by the way, I have just launched my new website. It's at andyhartley.uk. Very easy to remember. And I've also launched a newsletter. And you can get your hands on one of these posters, which says, look, there we are. Consent is a willing and enthusiastic yes, not the absence of a no. And you can get these for free. I'm sending them out for free if you sign up to my newsletter, which you can find at andyhartley.uk. And you will get a newsletter once a month about all sorts of sex ed things, anything you've missed from my content, and other things like that as well. Sign up, it's free. Your first newsletter comes out in mid-August. If you sign up before then, you can claim one of these and details will be in that first newsletter. You don't have to have one of them. If you want to sign up to newsletter, but not to get one of these posters, although I don't know why that would be the case. But if you don't want to get one of these posters, then that's fine. Just don't claim your poster, it's fine. You can do that at andyhartley.uk. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. You can do that just down below. Subscribe, because I make videos more or less every single week on this channel. And click the little bell so you're notified of when I next upload. And I will hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.